नमस्कार। आज मैं कोई वीडियो नहीं लेकर आया हूँ। आज की वीडियो का जो फ़ॉर्मेट है वो पहले की वीडियो से थोड़ा अलग है। आज मैं कुछ रिएक्शन देने वाला हूँ उन ट्वीट्स पर, उन वीडियोज़ पर, उन रिएक्शंस पर जो राम मंदिर इनॉग्रेशन के बाद निकल कर के आए हैं। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट। मन मेरे मायूस ना हो, अभी तो चलना बाकी है। पहला ही ट्वीट फैक्ट चेकर का है, मोहम्मद ज़ुबैर। तो ये भी 22 जनवरी को ही पोस्ट किया है कि मन इनका मायूस है। आई डोंट नो व्हाई मन मायूस है, बिकॉज़ द verdict for the Ram Mandir came from Supreme Court. So he's sad because he lost the case, and to that end, I don't think he personally lost the case. So that keep in mind that his man is mayus only because he lost the ideological war or the battle, so to speak, because the war is still left. So keep that in mind. Like, this one particular line says a lot about his ideology, about what he represents. God is not a structure, he is in the truth and in the pursuit of truth and justice. Know yourself to know God. Okay, if God is not in a structure, then you shouldn't have any problem with what happened with Babri Masjid, because God is not in that structure. He is in the truth, in the pursuit of truth and justice. And yes, of course, the justice was delivered, the truth was pursued. And know yourself to know God. Well, that is what Sanatan Dharma is all about. It's about knowing what is inside you. So I completely agree with Sakarika Ghosh. I don't know why people are calling it a meltdown. And she hashtagged Mahatma Gandhi. And okay, that is like a nail in the coffin of her ignorance or stupidity if she was trying to comment against Ram Mandir, because Mahatma Gandhi himself was a great worshipper of Lord Ram. So I agree with every line. I agree with everything she has done. I don't know if she realized that she is tweeting for the Ram Mandir or against it, but I agree with her. There is a fatigue associated by feeling out of place in the country with all the goings on right now. Of course, you're fatigued. You have been getting one bash after another since 2014, so of course you're fatigued. If you are feeling this fatigue and not able to speak out with the fear of being suppressed, you did speak out. You tweeted, so there is like irony in itself. I am with you with speaking out. We are together. All right. So if I, I don't know on what she tweeted this, because she is contradicting herself. But yes, I agree with her that there is fatigue, because of the obvious reasons, because you have been losing since 2014 and there is a long way that you have to lose. So don't get exhausted right now. There is so much more you have to take. So either you switch sides or you just brace yourself. And then there's contradiction, that you are scared of speaking out, but still you spoke out. You gave this tweet. I love the two heart emojis at the end. Okay. Pray Rona says, I have a million thoughts, but I don't want to voice a single one of them out. Maybe because you're afraid of being stupid. It's pointless anyway. Of course it is. Prioritize your sanity and safety. Sanity if you have anything left. And wait for the tables to turn. Okay, so she's saying कि एक time आएगा जब we will be on the ruling side, and then we'll show you. Okay, so you can see where this is going. You can see what she is trying to do, what she will do. If I don't know if she will do it, but she thinks that something will happen. When they will, which they will, no matter how long it takes. Okay. Yes, of course. As for Ram Mandir, we waited for 500 years. We waited for long because for the tables to turn, and now the table is towards the Hindus. So what she is speaking out, what she is talking about has already happened. So that's a good thing. Thank you, Prerona, for stating the obvious that has already happened. Okay. Rana Ayub, the famous journalist, and the favorite child of the West. This day will not just mark the brute majoritarianism of those in power, but also the silence of those who were once the bulwarks against communalism. Okay. So the making of the Ram Mandir is majoritarianism, the verdict of which was given by Supreme Court based on the evidence. So the majority cannot even fight on the basis of merits in court, according to her, because then it will be majoritarianism. Also, but also the silence of those who were once the bulwark. I wish she had taken names. I wish she had taken names, because then it would have pointed out the rift within the left, the religious left that she represents. But anyway, I love it. Mitali Saran. Okay. A temple government, embodied in a self appointed king priest who is trying to convince people that he was chosen by God. Okay, that is just some fantasy land she's living in. I don't know how he's trying to convince people. When asked once in Aapki Adalat, I think Modi said ke I I am nobody. I don't care if my name, my legacy is carried forward, because that is not my objective. And he then proceeded to give the example of the Vedas, that nobody remembers, nobody knows who wrote the Vedas, and it is not documented anywhere, but they still have the capability of showing mankind the path that they should lead. So the work matters, not who did it. So I don't know where she's getting this impression of him, but that is not what the public perceives. The hard launch of a thoroughly unequal country. Of course, it's unequal. It is unequal because it is a temple government, because the temples are controlled by the government. That is not the case with other religions. Gurudwaras are not controlled by government. Churches are not controlled by government, and mosques are not controlled by government. So I don't know. I agree with her with there that it's a temple government. It is a crime scene in more ways than one. Yes, it is a crime scene. It is a crime scene of the Hindu humiliation that happened while Babarism was in power. So I wish she would have listed out what more ways that there are, but that is the one thing that I remember. Okay. Arfa Khanam Sherwani. The way we imagined India, New India for many centuries, is dead now. Okay. Okay, while scrolling through X, that was formerly Twitter, I came across several tweets that were mocking the people by saying that I did not know that people in their 20s have been waiting for a temple for 500 years, and will not mock this tweet by saying that how she has been waiting for centuries. So the logic fails itself there. The way we imagined India, well, what I don't know what she means by we, but the way we imagine India, the civilizational identity, the cultural heritage that it has been carried forward. So I don't know what we here is, or what delusional we that she's talking about. Well, it's dead. So knowing her ideology, knowing her way of doing things, I'm glad it's dead now. Abhishek Banerjee. My religion has not taught me to accept and embrace a place of worship, whether it be a mandir, masjid, church, or gurudwara, which has been built over hatred. So how did you accept Babri Masjid? Violence and the dead bodies of innocents. Period. Okay. Then I agree with him. I agree that Babri Masjid was not acceptable to him because it was built over Ram Mandir. So I agree with you, Abhishek Banerjee. 22nd January, fall of a secular nation will be remembered. I don't know where she gets her definition of secularism, but secularism means every religion is free to practice their own cultures and traditions and propagate it in any way they want. So inauguration of Ram Mandir is not a fall of secular nation. I don't know what she was on while she wrote this tweet. Will be remembered, okay? I hope it is remembered, because there is a lot to come. Never forget how it started. A criminal act of vandalism is turned into a national celebration. Okay. This celebration is not about divinity, it's about intimidation and humiliation of the minority community. First of all, it's not minority community. Let's just read out the entire tweet. The degeneration of India is complete. Okay, so inauguration of Ram Mandir is degeneration of India, but this mosque represented the advancement of India. Anyway, okay, I agree with him that it was a criminal act of vandalism, but then what happened was that case went into Supreme Court, and Supreme Court gave out the verdict that Ram Mandir will be built. So even if it was an act of vandalism, it turned out that the structure that he has tweeted here was built on the grounds of Hindu humiliation. So I hope he speaks up for that as well. A lot of you talk about Sri Ram's qualities while never really imbibing any of it. Well, I agree with him. I agree with him that a lot of us do not have the capability or the ability to imbibe all of his qualities. That's why he's God and we are not. That's why we worship him, and I hope he worships him as well, because clearly he's revering all those qualities. So I agree with him. Jordan negative. A mosque was demolished and thousands were massacred from India's largest minority community. It's not minority community if it's largest, it's second largest majority. Seeds of hatred benefited BJP and brought it to power. Today, temple is being inaugurated where once Babri Mosque stood tall. Well, I don't know if seeds of hatred benefited BJP in such a manner, because BJP always had this thing in their manifesto, even if they were in the minority government. And Anna Hazare and his movement had a lot to do with BJP coming to power. So people don't remember that, but that is the reason why BJP came to power. Today, temple is being inaugurated where once Babri Mosque stood tall. I don't know what this line means. We all know it. Thanks for stating the obvious. I pity the naive people who think that they are gonna stop after Ayodhya and everything is gonna be normalized. Could hear slogan hearing last night, ये तो झांकी है, काशी मथुरा अब बाकी है. ये लो भाई, 2-4 और ले लो, बस अमन रखो, जियो और जीने दो. ओके, तो दे दो, because that is all we ask for. We ask for these 3 iconic places to be restored. One is the Ram Janmabhoomi temple, second is Kashi, the third is Mathura. So just give us that. Why put up a fight against it? Why cry about it? Why tweet about it? 16th century masjid that was erased to build a 21st century temple. Why mention the dates? For the Hindu nation state, 20th century reinvented dances that are dances of Hindu nation state. Rewritten histories that will make us forget systems working for a Brahminic Indian nation state. Struggling to resist, organize, agitate and exist in such bleak time. Hashtag agitate, hashtag organize, hashtag resist, hashtag black day. Oh my god. So she went ahead and called it a black day. I love how leftists casually throw out the words Hindu nation state, Brahmin Indian nation state, without knowing what it actually means. Nobody knows what is Hindu nation state. How do you define it? How do you come up with the idea? What laws will be followed? What will people be like in that nation state? I hope people ask Nitya about it. This is Tamil Nadu, the land of the Tamils. This is the land of the mighty Ravanan. Keep your Ram Puran out of our land. Ram is not accepted here. This is Ravan land. So get out, Sangis. Okay. I don't think Ravan was from Tamil Nadu. Anyway, so this is the height the people are going to go just to oppose something. He supported a villain just so that he could oppose the hero, because that would mean opposing the people that he does not like. So this is the height people are willing to go to just for some ideological rift. This status had the preamble, and it's a great way to cleanse your WhatsApp contacts. Highly recommended. Jai Shri Ram. Okay, she put out the preamble of the constitution, and someone responded with Jai Shri Ram, and she blocked that person. Okay, so first of all, yes, I noticed a lot of snowflakes putting up this preamble. I don't know why, because I'm assuming it was to emphasize the secular word in the preamble, because the inauguration of Ram Mandir is the so-called death of that secular nation. But just now I pointed out what is the definition of secular. I don't know if they know it or not. And secondly, just to remind them, in the original constitution, the word secular socialist did not exist. It was amended in 1976, I guess, while all the opposition leaders were in jail. So this amendment itself was not very democratic or constitutional. So if you are trying to uphold the constitution, then keep that fact in mind. Secondly, just because you insert the word secular in the preamble doesn't make the nature of the constitution secular, because there are still so many things that the government does that are also in the constitution. Because if you pick up I think it's article 45, and it is one of the directive principles, and it talks about that the state shall try to abolish the slaughter of cows and calves. So if it's a secular nation, why selectively pick up one animal and abolish and try to abolish its slaughter? So of course it was hinting towards a civilizational identity that worships cows. Also, like I pointed out earlier, the government controls temples and it does not do so for other religious institutions. Why is that? If it's truly a secular nation, why is government controlling temples? Why the funds from temples are being taken by the government as revenue? So they would not object to that. Because that money is taken from Hindu temples and given to the religious institutions of other religions. So that is okay with them. But when it comes to government doing something for the temples, then it is a fall of secularism. I don't know if it's deliberate or it's just complete ignorance. Trying not to engage on this, but too many majoritarians today denying the violence of what has happened. The Supreme Court really has whitewashed 1992 for them. I don't know how that is relevant at all, because it has already been deliberated in the courts. Okay, even if I agree that there was violence in 1992, would you concede? Would you change your position? Would you agree that the Ram Mandir inauguration is constitutional, is done in a democratic way? No, you wouldn't. You just want me to agree with you, but you would not do the same, even if facts are against you.
झंडे लगे हैं मेरी सोसाइटी में भी, यानी मैं जहाँ से होकर गुजर कर अभी आई हूँ, वो झंडा ऐसा नहीं लगा कि सोसाइटी पे लगा है, ऐसा लगा कि मेरे सीने पे भगवा झंडा लगा दिया गया है.
What a great intolerance. She had to see a Bhagwa Jhanda while driving, while coming to work. See what a majoritarianist country we have become, so intolerant. Muslim community is forced to see us around. What so great injustice.